Thank you so much. I'm happy to welcome a Japanese delegation here in Vladivostok, the island Ruski. We're really happy you came and you are interested in Russia and the Far East. So Mr. Maruyama told me that this is his first time to Russia and his first time to Vladivostok. And I would like to repeat a short story Mr. Maruyama told us about the island of Ruski. Those of you who came here before, you probably remember that 6 to 7 years there was nothing here. No roads, no electricity, no infrastructure. And as I told today to Mr. Maruyama, one Russian writer in his work said, Lord help you to avoid the island Ruski. But as for today, it's one of the most beautiful and progressive districts of Vladivostok and one of the most beautiful places in the big Russia. So this is an example of how our country can change for the better if due efforts are applied. And I am equally sure that if our colleagues from the Ministry of the Far East join their efforts with other stakeholders, are successful in improving the investment climate. From my side, I would like to say that the agenda of the President is to improve investment climate in the country. And to this end, a lot of efforts are taken and there are results. So Russia grew in a number of international rating lists which measure business indexes. And in the World Bank index, we went up from 124th place to 62nd position. But we're not happy with those results achieved. And we believe there's a lot to be done. And we saw that a lot of investors from Asia Pacific regions, well, rules for them, our rules don't appear familiar and clear. And so we acted as follows. In the Far East, the Ministry of the Far East is an ombudsman for investors who come to the Far East, who helps them to carry out their project with the minimum of bureaucracy. In the rest of Russia, we are based on the Ministry of Economic Development. There is the Department of Investment Policy in the Ministry of Economic Development, who equally acts as ombudsman for Japanese companies they want to deploy in the rest of Russia. So if there are any delays with bureaucracy, you can always address us in the Ministry of the Economic Development and in the Ministry of the Far East. And this is no replacement to our work on systematic improvement of the business environment, but I hope it helps your companies to be more efficient when you work in Russia. Also, earlier this afternoon at the plenary session, Mr. President mentioned some industries and areas which could be exciting. So shipping industry and agriculture were mentioned. Agriculture is very promising and environmentally friendly in the Far East. And also healthcare and education sector also wait for investment in the Far East and in Russia generally. As we discussed with some companies, so currently in Moscow there is a whole medical cluster waiting for investment into high technology, and we will look forward to Japanese investors to join. And I would like to tell you that Russia has long engineering traditions, and we will contribute and support cooperation with the R&D centers in Russia. And I'm sure that our engineering potential will allow us to develop joint technology based on joint stock companies and to work to use outsourcing with large Japanese companies, which has long been the case with our Western partners. And we really hope that as part of our forum, you will enrich your knowledge on how to do business in the Far East. And in the ministry, in the government, we really estimate the work done by the Business Council Russia-Japan. And we believe the main contact should be at the level of the companies. That's why we will support regular Japanese business missions to Russia and Russian business missions to Japan. And I hope you find exciting joint projects with Russian companies. Thank you so much for your attention.